Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to a live and interactive session. You are watching our online training session on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 2. By phase 2, we mean that we are covering southern part of the country and it includes states like Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana and UTs of Puducherry, Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now this session is actually meant for everybody. So all of you can participate, can get yourself assessed and can get yourself a certificate. You are watching this live session of ours on PM eVidya channels from 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. And under the umbrella theme, the topic that we have taken up today is quite interesting, and this is virtual lab as a teaching learning tool for mathematics. I'm sure you must be having a lot of curiosity to know about the role of virtual labs in the context of maths, and you must be having a lot of questions as well. So if you wish to participate, please take down our phone number, which is 8800440559. You can also write an email to us. We have a dedicated email ID for you, and that is diksha.training@ciet.nic.in. Since we are also streaming live on our YouTube channel NCERT Official, you can always go to the comment section, put in your questions there, your suggestions, and get in touch with us instantly. Now, let me repeat myself that today, under the umbrella theme of integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 2, we are going to talk about virtual lab as a teaching learning tool for mathematics. It is the last day of the session and link for assessment will be open. I will tell you everything about it by the end of the session. But for now, it's time for me to introduce you all to our experts for today. We are joined by Dr. Jagmohan Rao. Sir is Assistant Professor from MPD CIET NCERT New Delhi. Sir, namaskar and welcome.
Namaste, ma'am.
We are also joined by Ms. Anna Gupta. Ma'am is Academic Consultant from CIET NCERT New Delhi. Ma'am, welcome to the session.
Thank you.
And we all know we have been, watching these sessions about virtual labs in different subjects, and today we have taken quite an interesting subject, which is mathematics, and this subject is at times traumatic for many, but we have to make it joyful. But is virtual lab serving the purpose? Let's know more about it. So, sir, I have a lot of questions for you. But before I jump onto those questions, I request you to kindly offer us a glimpse of what exactly we are going to cover in the session today.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Usually, this teaching learning is a challenging in a classroom for every teacher.
Yes.
Not only for mathematics, for every teacher.
True.
Why? Because the teacher should be consider the individual differences of the child.
Yes.
And he should be consider the overall classroom management things also.
True.
Especially for mathematics. Mathematics is a challenging for students as well as the teacher also.
Yes, yes.
Why? Because most of the students, they have to feel mathematics as a tough.
Yeah.
And usually the people, the children perspective also, they have a issue with to understand the concepts of the mathematics.
True.
So in this case, we have to adapt this digital era to introduce n number of tools as a digital facilities to provide in the classroom purpose, and here we have to use the concept of virtual labs, especially while teaching learning mathematics, how we have to introduce these virtual labs and how these virtual labs as a complementary and supplementary of the physical laboratory also we are to go for to discussion today in the particular session.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of things to look forward to. So I have this first question, sir, without any delay, that what exactly do we mean by a virtual lab in the context of mathematics? Of course, when it comes to teaching and learning of maths, whether it's simple situations or complex problems, and how does it contribute to a deeper understanding of these mathematical concepts?
Thank you, ma'am. Virtual labs as a digital platforms where students can explore and interact with the mathematical concepts through stimulations, visualizations and activities. Usually especially like during a childhood days, while we are during a childhood days,
Yes.
while the children learning about especially like a tables, so they might be by heart,
Yeah.
2 1 jar 2, 2 2 jar
True.
3. So, but nowadays as per the NEP 2020 and NCFSC and NCFFS, we have to avoid the by heart things, and people should learn the concept through conceptualization. So, that conceptualization we could facilitate here through this virtual labs,
Okay.
especially these virtual labs based upon the learning by experience, learning by experiment
Yes.
and learning by doing. So, these are three principles promoted by the pragmatism. That pragmatism principles we could incorporate here as a part of the virtual labs.
Okay.
And these virtual labs could provide a dynamic hands-on experiences that enhance the understanding levels of the children.
Right.
For example, here 3 2s are 6, 3 2s are 6. So, that concept they have to interlink with the addition.
Yeah.
That means, if we add 2 as a 3 times, it could be as a 6. But usually people they based upon the rote memory, when they based upon the rote memory, they might be like miss the concepts
Making mistakes
in between the
Yes.
multiplication and addition.
True.
So, as a teacher and also students, they have to learn the conceptualization. So, mainly here the virtual labs could facilitate that conceptualization here. And also these virtual labs foremost objective is safe and flexible learning.
Yeah.
Usually most of the schools, of course Government of India and so many policies, and as a part of the NEP under the blackboard scheme, those are all things people are facilitating in government, facilitating state government, central government, facilitating n number of things, but those things are not reaching at the
Yes.
grassroots level.
Yes.
In that case, they could use these virtual labs as a supplementary and complementary of the physical laboratories.
So, you are trying to say that since we are talking about experiential learning these days, then we have got so many immersive technologies.
Yes,
In order to develop the interest of the child, virtual labs are playing a very interesting and important role.
Sure.
Because we have to make our concepts clear and we have to avoid cramming of the concepts.
Yes.
There has to be a basic understanding.
Yes.
Now, sir, these virtual labs, because you're a teacher, you must be having a lot of your own experiences when it comes to using of virtual labs, especially in teaching learning context, because
Yes.
these days we're also talking about blended learning.
Yes.
You mentioned NEP 2020, of course, it also talks about equity in education, inclusivity in education. So, as per your understanding, what examples would you like to portray as advantages of
Okay.
virtual labs?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for question. Especially these virtual labs, as we mentioned, based upon the principle of learning by doing and learning by experience. So, here the student, we could facilitate the student with interactive and also they could feel the stimulations
Yes.
while manipulating the things through the virtual reality. They could also stimulate the things. For example, a concept of a square or a rectangle. So, already we know a square, its all sides are equal, and a rectangle opposite sides are equal.
Yes.
Okay. So, if we know how to conceptualize the same thing for the students, if we explain n number of things as a orally, they couldn't understand.
All right.
So, if we could visualize the concept through virtual labs, they could easily understand, oh, this is the square. So, all the square
Sides are
sides
equal.
are equal.
Yes.
Oh, this is the rectangle. So opposite sides are
Equal.
So based upon those are all experiential and experimental, and also we have to facilitate this the thing like to convert the abstract sense to concrete sense.
True, true.
So especially mathematical functions, mostly like abstract functions. So these abstract things we have to convert into the, that is the main focus of the teacher also.
Right.
Why? Because if the teacher fails to convert the abstract into concrete, then students they couldn't understand the concept.
Right.
So other subjects like any other subject compared to mathematics, mostly these mathematical functions like formulas, generalizations, those are all things as a abstract.
Yes.
So we have to convert those things into as a concrete things with the help of this virtual labs.
Ji.
So here this virtual labs also give a opportunity like a tangible and engaging.
True.
Why? Because when the child participate in the particular activity, he or she could be enjoy the concept, how to
Yes.
manipulate the things,
Yes.
and how to go for the experimentation, and he could also get some immediate feedback,
Yes.
whether he is doing as a right way or he might be doing as a mistakes.
True.
Even though he did a mistake, he could learn by the learning by mistakes.
Yes.
Why? Because not every human being as 100% is perfect.
Yes, of course.
We have to learn from the mistakes itself.
Yes.
So that is also one of the factor here to get the immediate feedback, and they have to learn something by the mistakes itself. So this is the some observations as per my experiences while using these virtual labs while teaching learning mathematics.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences with us. And you know, we have kind of seen labs for science subjects, but mathematical labs are a rarity, I would say. They're not present everywhere. At the most, what we have seen abacus and some of the models for mathematics, but you talked about safe experimentation also. In chemistry, we understand that, you know, you are actually dealing with the chemicals, so you have to stay safe. But mathematics is a different genre altogether.
Yes,
so
definitely.
here I would like to ask you about what do we mean by safe, though I understand that before going into the actual laboratory setting, you go prepared because you've already practiced something on a virtual lab setting.
Yes, yes.
So first thing is about the safety part. Just kindly elaborate on that part. Also, when faced with a complex mathematical problem in a virtual lab setting, then what specific strategies would you suggest that are really important for effective deep exploration and of course comprehension of mathematical concepts?
Thank you, ma'am, for question. Usually these mathematical concepts from primary level to KG to PG. So when we go for like primary level to higher level, absolutely this mathematical content, concept, it's the hierarchy
Yes.
might be complex things.
True.
So when the complex problems are there, foremost we have to make the students, they have to understand the problem.
Right.
First, the first step itself in the research itself, if the student can understand the problem, then they can go for the solution.
True.
So if we know the problem, then 50% of solution in our hand. And the second thing, we have to visualize. Once the problem, for example, if a pen has a 5 rupees, what the 5 pens. So as initially the class 2 or class 3 children, they couldn't understand as a single attempt.
Yes.
As a teacher, we have to demonstrate them, this is the question, and if one pen is 5 rupees, then what is the 5 pens cost?
Yes.
So if we can elaborate to understand the particular problem, then the student could understand the concept.
True.
And also here one more thing, Herbert Spencer,
Yes.
he is a good educationalist and psychologist. He gave some simple tips to understand the conceptual things.
Okay.
That is, we have to know move from known to unknown.
Right.
That means the children what he already knows about the concept, we have to start from that and we have to move from unknown things.
Yes.
And also we have to move from simple to complex. So already he knows the 1 pen cost, then what is the cost of the 5 pens. So we have to move from the simple to complex things.
One.
And also as we know that we have to prefer to move from abstract concrete things to abstract things. So these are all the some steps we have to visualize, and we have to try to understand the concept in a brief and explore manner. Then we could facilitate a good environment in the teaching and learning, especially in the virtual reality.
Right. So you talked about that teachers have a job of not only teaching and making the subject really interesting and developing the interest or inclination of the students towards it, but they also have to do a lot of coordination. Yes. Now, amongst all these things that they are responsible to do, how can teachers promote active engagement and exploration through virtual lab activities?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for question. Using these virtual labs, as we mentioned, we could facilitate hands-on experiences for children, and also the children could enjoy the interactive sessions as a part of the experimentation, and they have to learn, and even NCFSE and NCFFS and NEP based upon the principles of NEP 2020, we have to facilitate the children as a experiential and experimental learning.
Yes.
So based upon that experiential and experimental learning, these virtual labs could facilitate based upon the objectives of educational system. And once the children part of the this experimentation and experiential, they have to develop their problem solving skills.
Right.
They have to develop their critical thinking, and these are all 21st century skills also.
Yes, yes.
Coordination, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking and problem solving.
True.
So they have to explore these are all the things through the virtual labs, and they could also, as we know, already we mentioned, this concrete things they have to from abstract to concrete things they have to understand, and also they have to learn by the mistakes itself.
Yes.
These are all the things we have to, and especially the pedagogical issues. And these pedagogical issues we can overcome with the help of the virtual labs.
Right. So, now we're moving from chalk and duster to a digital learning setup. So things are changing because now you can watch the 3D images, or you can understand the concepts in a 3D scenario with the help of virtual labs.
Yes.
Now, what strategies have you found, since you were also part of it and working on the same as well, or as a mathematician, or could you envision for seamlessly embedding these virtual labs into the routine lessons to enhance mathematical learning, because now routine teaching learning has been changing drastically.
Yes.
And also we're talking about accessibility, so we have to include everything in the learning of mathematics. How virtual labs are making a difference here?
Yes, ma'am. Especially here already we have to discuss about the coordination and cooperation.
Yes.
As a team teaching, the teacher could facilitate the classroom as a cooperative learning.
Absolutely.
That cooperative learning means it's not just like a group discussion, not just like a sharing among the peer groups.
Yeah.
They have to learn the concept together.
True.
So when for example experimentation is going on in the virtual labs, so some acts like a team lead, he might be doing the things. So sometimes he might be did a small mistake. The other people also they have to facilitate. No, this is not a right thing, this is the right way.
Yes.
So that much of the coordination should be mandated here, and they have to make the as a team teaching also. So, when we incorporate this cooperation and coordination as a team teaching, not only the concepts, they have to learn as a socialization.
Oh, yes.
And they have to share their experiences to one to each other. And we have to make the classroom as a more engaging.
Oh, of course.
And they have to explore not only the mathematical things and other areas also.
Other areas, yes.
So, these are all the some important things we have to incorporate as a team teaching and cooperation and coordination.
Right. Now, sir, you have explained these things so nicely that there is a kind of cooperation, collaboration, people are learning or students are learning from each others as well.
Yes.
Now, virtual labs are actually projecting a lot more benefits.
Okay.
Because first of all, it's a very cost effective medium also, because what you need a laptop device or any IoT device for that matter, and a stable internet connection, and wherever you are in any part of the world, you can actually access virtual labs and you can practice.
Okay.
We're also talking about connecting the last mile learner to education. We're also talking about accessibility.
Yes.
But somebody who is not that tech driven or tech friendly,
Okay.
there comes challenge at times as well. So how would you help a peer who is unfamiliar with technology to use a virtual lab effectively?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Usually, if not only the virtual labs, any new device, for example, I changed my mobile. Earlier, I used one model.
Yeah.
Now, I changed as a new device. I am also not familiar with all the setup things
Yes,
and
yes.
settings, those are all things. We have to learn slowly one by one.
True, true.
So, first we have to focus on a simple overview.
Absolutely.
So, based upon the simple overview, we could also facilitate how to utilize this virtual lab.
True.
And also virtual labs, how it will work. We have to give a small demo.
Yeah.
Based upon the demo, they can understand the interface, what tools are there, and what are the main features of these virtual labs. And also, we have to navigate
Yes.
through the lab dashboard.
Yeah.
For example, first we have to show the main home page
Yes.
of the dashboard,
Yes, yes.
and what the things are there in the particular navigation. And
Yes.
if we click the home button, what will
Options are
come?
there, yes.
And if we click the navigation of settings, what will come? These are all a small demonstration also mandate for the students.
Yeah.
And also show how to select the experimentation. And we have to guide them step by step.
True. Yes.
Why? Because nowadays teacher just not like a instructor.
Yes.
Teacher is a facilitator.
Facilitator. True.
We have to facilitate the based upon the accommodation and based upon the availability of the things.
Right.
So when the teacher could facilitate all the things to give a step by step introduction and step by step demonstration, then the student can able to easily move. Why? Because nowadays children are also very smart.
Yeah.
Even LKG, UKG people also, they are good in using a mobile
Using
technology
mobiles, absolutely.
compared to grandma, grandparents.
True, absolutely. They're
So,
teaching us.
Yes, we no need to give much more like instructions, those are all things.
Yeah.
With a simple demo, they could easily understand the virtual labs, how to use in teaching learning mathematics.
Absolutely. And I think virtual labs are also playing a very important role when it comes to assessment and evaluation also,
Sure,
because you get
sure.
instant feedback.
Yes,
And teachers are also able to assess the difficulty level that a child can solve or the understanding level of a child, and accordingly they can increase the difficulty or the complexity of the concepts as well.
Definitely.
Right. Now, thank you so much, sir, for sharing this theoretical part of
Thank you,
the
ma'am.
this particular session. Of course, we've learned a lot about virtual labs and how they are making a drastic difference in teaching learning of simple to complex mathematical situations. But this is not the end here, because we have to understand, as sir rightly mentioned, that we need to understand how a virtual lab works. There are tutorials, there are audio video material, and there are instructions, even if you don't know anything, because we talked about someone who is not at all technologically friendly. So even if you have opened the page, you don't know anything about it, still virtual lab can help you to begin the session. And in the middle, if you get stuck somewhere, you get prompts. How? Because I have learned all these things because I've been watching these sessions and doing these sessions quite regularly. But for now, it's time for us to start from the scratch, because this is for mathematics, and there are many people who have joined us today for the very first time. So let's now go for the demonstration part. So Anna ma'am, I'll request you to kindly make us understand, where are these virtual labs, where do they exist, and how can we actually perform various experimentations in terms of mathematics through virtual labs?
Thank you, ma'am. So firstly, I want to draw the attention towards that virtual labs doesn't mean to replace the physical laboratories. Actually, it is to enhance the actual laboratory experience. For this, we are considering that they are offering various features in the virtual labs, that we can see that if we want to verify the theorems, if we want to implicate the theorems in other different areas, then we can use the virtual labs also. And even if you want to get the references from particular topic, then you can also refer the virtual labs. So before that, to demonstrate the virtual lab experiment, I would like to navigate how we can reach the virtual labs. For this, you have to log in diksha.gov.in, and this is the LAN Diksha homepage. And you will so when you scroll down the banners, you will see that one of the banner is of virtual labs. So when you click on virtual labs, you will directly land on the virtual labs page. So this is about the virtual labs, what we are experience in the virtual labs. So the main highlight is the simulation. So when you scroll down, you can see that the virtual labs are available from class 6 to 12th, and from 6 to 12th you will get the virtual labs in English medium context. So once when you click on grade 9th, then we will get the mathematics experience, mathematics subject. So I am clicking on mathematics. So I am showing one of the experiment from class 9th. So one of the experiment from class 9th is the area of the trapezium. As you all can see that the sir has discussed that various geometrical concepts that are very difficult to visualize. So this is the platform that you can visualize the geometrical and the 3D shapes, and you can understand the concept very much. So I am clicking, so this is in the right hand side, you can see that this is the table of contents. So when you click on the topic, like I am just clicking on this area of trapezium, so that you can see in the drop down there is an explanation resources. So in the explanation resources you will get the experiment. So I am explaining one of the experiment, which is area of trapezium. So what is this area of trapezium? So first the student will understand the concepts and the principle which is related to the experiment, and also the learner will get the solid foundation of the trapezium. So what is the sir has told me is that what is the trapezium, what are the properties of the trapezium. To show the area of the trapezium, here we have the objective, and we also get the learning outcomes related to this topic also. So what is the theory in the about the trapezium? That trapezium is a quadrilateral with one pair of the opposite sides are parallel, and here you can see this is the proof about the trapezium and what we are going to discuss in the simulation. And one activity is also given in the drop down. So I am clicking on the procedure. So in the procedure you will get the real lab procedure, step by step, and also you will get the simulation procedure. So both the procedures will be given here to perform any particular activity. So in the animation, the student will get the visual presentation of the experiment for the better understanding. And now I am coming to this simulation. So simulation is based on the area of trapezium, and what objective we are getting it. The objective is to show that the area of trapezium is equal to the half of the product of its altitude and the sum of its parallel sides. So what previous knowledge we require to prove this experiment? We require the quadrilateral, we require the knowledge of quadrilateral and a quadrilateral and a parallelogram. So we are using these properties to prove the statement.
Right.
So this is, you can see that this is in the left hand side, this is the instruction part, and in right hand side you will see the workbench area, and in the workbench area student will give their responses here. So first they can read the instructions. There is a step instructions here, and after reading the step instructions, they can give their responses here. Like if we want to create a trapezium, then we have to enter base length. So I'm putting the base length here, and the second base length is I'm taking 5 centimeter, and we have to enter the height also. So just when you read the instructions, then you will get that you have to click on draw trapezium. So just a single click, they can get the trapezium.
Right.
Okay, and after next step, if we want to create a trapezium property, and if we want to show what is the area of the trapezium, we have to make a replica of this trapezium. So just clicking on this trapezium, I just get the another trapezium.
With same measurements.
With same measurements, yes. So now the next step, we have to rotate the second one to make it a rectangle. So I am dragging it slowly. So this is a very easy procedure.
Yeah.
So I am dragging it, and now I am using the area of parallelogram properties. And what is the area of the parallelogram? Which is the base and the height. And we can see that, and we also see the inferences here and the observation that if we observe that parallelogram ASPD is formed by combining the two trapeziums, so it means that area of parallelogram is the combination of two trapeziums. So for the next inference, we will see that when we click on the next, what we get, the area of trapezium should be half of the area of the parallelogram. So this is the experiment that we can experience here, and after that we can also see there is a self-evaluation questions which is related to the topic also. So once the student will get the do this activity, they can put their answers here. And so once when they complete their answers, they can click on the submit, and they will get the instant feedback what answers are correct and what answers are wrong.
Correct.
Yes. So there is an also reference here. So reference is basically the additional material what they want to learn extra, in particular in this subject, in this topic. So they can refer to references also, and a small feedback is also there. And this feedback is basically go to the virtual labs that have created, those persons who have created the virtual labs. So these feedbacks will be go there.
Right.
So now I'm showing one of the experiment. As we all know that as we all know that the Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem, what is this? Pythagoras theorem is a very fundamental principle of geometry, right? So the student face difficulty in finding what is the Pythagoras theorem. Yes,
I myself crammed it.
Oh, so for this I want to show you one of the experiment that shows how we can verify the Pythagoras theorem. So this is a class 10th topic, Pythagoras theorem.
And very important from board point of view also.
Yes. So I am clicking on Pythagoras theorem. So this is the theoretical part, what we are going to learn in the Pythagoras theorem, and what is that we all know that it is a right angle triangle, and area of the square of the side whose side is the hypotenuse, and which is equal to the sum of the areas of the other two sides of the triangle. So the same procedure will be also there. First they can read the steps for the real lab, and they can also read the steps for the simulation also. So now I am directly jump into the simulation. So to verify the Pythagoras theorem, the area of the square is on the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle is equal to the sum of the areas of the squares on the other two sides. This is we are discuss it. So create a right angle triangle by providing the base and the height in the input box. So I am clicking it. So I am providing the base and height measurements. So I am taking this. So this is the measurement, right angle triangle is drawn, and if you want to show that how we can verify the Pythagoras theorem, so what step we have to do? We have to click on the next button. So as the instructions, you can see that the instructions come here that you have to click on the height, base and the hypotenuse. So I am clicking on height, what we get a square, and when we click on the base, we get another square, and click on the hypotenuse, we get. And next step, we have to click on all the squares to fill the different colors. So what we are going to discuss that the area of this small square and the second small square is coming in the combination of in the big square. Okay. So now I am clicking on this square. Now the diagonal will be appear. So two diagonals are drawn here. And so now the next step, we have to click on the hypotenuse to generate a parallel line, and we will take this parallel line, and now we can generate the quadrilaterals here. Double click on this parallel line to generate its perpendicular bisector. So I am clicking on this. So now the quadrilateral will appear. So first you can select the first quadrilateral. So click on select first, and then you can we have to adjust this quadrilateral here so that it can completely covers this big square. Now the second quadrilateral. Now we have to click on third quadrilateral and just click on fourth quadrilateral. So what we get, the remaining part is
this pink square.
Yes, this pink square. So basically the square of this hypotenuse is equals to the square of the other two sides. So this is what we get, and this is the observation that entire area of the square along the base of the triangle plus entire area of the square along the area of the square that along the hypotenuse. So therefore the student can get the inference that this is the Pythagoras theorem, and this we will get this area.
So step by step basically we can understand the theorem.
Yes. Now the self-evaluation and the reference. So one more experiment I want to show, which is which is based on the experimental and the theoretical probability, and the probability topic is very difficult to understand in the classroom, right? So the teacher can demonstrate the probability here.
Right.
So what is the objective? To determine the experimental probability that what we are getting when we throw a die 20 times. So when they compare with the theoretical probabilities, they will get the idea that in the experimental probabilities we get the same results. So in the probability, the measurement of likelihood of an event occurring is always expressed in the terms between 0 and 1. So in the experiment we also get the types of the probability in this experiment, that what is the difference between the theoretical probability and the experimental probability. So I am coming to simulation.
Okay.
So in the simulation, what learning outcome we will get, students will be able to verify that the experimental and theoretical probabilities are nearly equal. Okay. So I am starting this. So objective is to determine experimental probability of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 by throwing a die 20 times and compare with their theoretical probabilities.
Right.
So this is basically an example of the collaboration, collaborative learning that sir has already told us about that.
Yes.
So in this activity, they will learn the experiment and theoretical probabilities by throwing a die 20 times, and it is very difficult in the classroom to throw a die 20 times. So with the help of virtual labs, they can understand the concept. So here we can see that the 4 students are there, Akash, Komal, Divya and Rahul. So I am picking one of the student, that is Akash, and he will be throw a die, and what observations we will get, we will consider here. So once when he throw a die, what we get? Okay, we get 3. So in the second throw, what we are getting 5. So similarly in third throw, we are filling the observations here in the fourth row and in the fifth row. So when they are performing this activity in the classroom, they will get the interest. So
and I'm sure no cheating is happening while throwing the dice.
So now I'm clicking on the next, and I'm picking one more child, Komal, and now she will throw, and what observations she get? 6. In the second throw, she will get 2. Third throw 5, fourth throw 1, and fifth throw 4. Similarly, we take other child also. The next one, Divya. So one by one we can call them and we can perform this activity with the student also.
Right, right.
3.
This way they will feel more engaging in the content.
Exactly. So that's why we are called virtual lab as an interactive simulations they will get.
Absolutely.
Now next one, Rahul. First row, second row, third row, fourth row and the fifth row. So what we are getting, we can see that these are the responses, these are the observations we are getting from 4 students. So now we have to click on the next. So all the observations and the outcomes of each student are marked here. So Akash, so number of times a die is thrown by Akash, as we have seen that he has thrown a die 5 times. So what outcomes of each student? We can observe that in the right hand side table, outcomes of each student are appeared here. So refer to the above table and calculate if we are going to calculate the experimental probabilities. So what we are getting it to, so number of times a specific outcomes occurs and the total number of time. So probability of getting 1. So what is when we click on probability of getting 1, you can see that the dice that getting the number 1 will be appear. So how many times we are getting 1?
Well, 3 times here.
3 times. So we can give our response here 3 times. So that's right. And how many times we are getting 2?
Well, we have to see, it's 2 times, no, it's 4 times. In fact, it is 5
times.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting, and you are also taking interest.
Yes, because each time dice is rolled and your results are in front of you, so make sure that you point out the things correctly.
Yes.
Take your time.
So now probability of getting 3. So once when you click on getting 3, then the 3 will
be highlighted.
It will be highlighted.
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3,
4 times.
4 times.
No, that's the beauty, that everything is getting highlighted. You cannot go wrong even if you wish to.
Yes, exactly. So probability of getting 4.
1 time.
1 time. And probability of getting 5.
Now here it is 5 times.
5 times. And probability of getting 6.
Twice.
Twice. So you are also going to learn this.
Yes. I find it really engaging, and I'm actually little complaining that why it wasn't there when I was studying mathematics.
Exactly. So next what we have calculated, and we have calculated the experimental probability of getting 1, that is 0.15.
Yes.
That we have learned that the we always get the probability in the range 0 and between the 0 and 1. So what answers we have observed? We have calculated experimental probability of getting 3, getting 5. So all the results you can see here. So choose the face value of a die. So similarly you can perform this activity in the classroom. So one more experiment I want to show, that we have covered probability, we have covered geometry. Now I want to show one of the experiment from Graphical.
Well, thank God it was virtual lab, otherwise we would have donated the entire period in rolling the dice because children will giggle and they will enjoy.
Yes. So what we are going to learn in this experiment, like I am taking this example from class 11th.
Okay.
So this is the topic linear inequalities, which is very difficult in understanding in the classroom. So what we are going to verify? So we are going to verify that the graph of the given inequality. So inequality, the student are not able to understand what is the meaning of inequality.
Yes.
So meaning of inequality here in the linear inequalities, that we have to compare the equations. Okay. So linear inequalities of 2 real numbers and 2 algebraic expressions, you can see that it is related by the symbol formed by an inequality.
Okay.
So by not wasting any time, I am going to simulation. So this is the inequality that we are going to prove with the virtual labs. So to verify the graph of the given inequality, so the graph of the given inequality is that 5x plus 4y minus 40 is equals to 0, and this is, we are going to represent only one of the 2 half planes.
Okay.
And what we are going to learn in this experiment and in this activity, the graph of the given inequality represents only one of the 2 half planes that is to be verified. And first you can label this. So these are the steps that they can also read the steps before performing the experiment.
So basically what is happening, that we are also getting the learning outcome before performing an activity.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. So first is show axis, label the values on the x-axis. So now the graph will appear. So we are taking the equation of the form ax plus by plus c, which is less than 0. So it means we are taking the points as a equals to 5, because the equation was that 5x plus 4y minus 40
Yes,
is equals
yes.
to 0. So we are taking a is equals to 5,
Five.
b equals to 4 and c equals to
40.
40. So the equation ax plus by will become, what will become? It become 5x
Plus 4y
plus 4y, very good,
is equal to 40.
is equals to 40. So these are, so what we are finding it, we can say that we are getting the first point, and we are getting the first point as x equals to 8, because if we are putting the value y equals to 0, what we get? We get x equals to 40 divided by 5,
Yes.
that is 8. So we are clicking on the point 8 of the x-axis to divide the plane into two halves. So I am clicking on it and we get the straight line. Now to find what will be the region for this inequality, we have to click on some points.
Okay.
So for example, I am taking x equals to 1 and y equals to 1 on this graph. So I am plotting this. So one by one you can call the students and they can plot the points here. So plotting point A, and now for the next point they can click on x equals to 3. So x equals to 3 and y equals to 2. And now next is click on the point. So these are the points which are below the straight line. So x equals to 4 and y equals to 4. And click on the point x equals to 4 and the y equals to 7. So I am going this upwards, which is beyond the line, which is the point D. And click on the point x equals to 7 and y equals to 5. That is point E. And click on the point x equals to 8 and y equals to 4. So now we have taken some points A, B, C, D, E, F. These are the examples that we are going to put in the straight line. So select the values. Basically we are finding that how we can say that the inequality, the shaded region will be below the straight line. So for this we can see that if we are putting x equals to 1 and y equals to 1 in the same equation, so what result we are getting it? We are getting the result minus 31. Minus 31, it means that it refers the values of the coordinate satisfies the inequality. So what inequality was getting? As the value is less than 0. So it means that this point belongs to the shaded region. Now next point, so they can give their responses here. In the next point we will get the result minus 17, which is also less than 0. And I am putting one more point here, which is point E. And what result we are getting here? We are getting 15, which does not satisfy the inequality, because the inequality says that the value should be less than 0.
Yeah, and it is greater than 0.
But it is greater than 0. So here you can select all the values of the x and y coordinate here and from the drop down, and you can check the conclusion each time to see whether the coordinates satisfy the inequality or not.
Right.
And after that you can see there is an option in some simulation that you can also come if you want to learn some concept about the linear inequalities in between the experiment, in between the simulation. You can go to the theory, procedure and the animation, and one more is the Viva Voce and Viva Voce questions, and this is the instruction, this is a quiz. In some simulations you will get the quiz questions also. So to perform the quiz you can give your answers here, like the first question, 2 real numbers and 2 algebraic expression related by the symbol.
Yeah.
So they can give their responses here and submit their answers, and immediately they get the feedback that your answer is correct, your answer is wrong. So all the instructions are given here.
And also, what about the language? Is it available in English only?
It is available in English.
Okay, but I'm sure it's a work in progress and regional languages will be updated.
Yes.
Now, we are running short of time, so we have to actually give a closure to the experimentation part over here. But after this session, I'm going to open this virtual lab and perform an experiment myself, because I was really scared of differentiation integration, which I learned in class 12. And I'm sure that virtual lab is going to give me an easy breezy solution to practice and make myself prepared for the examinations. Now, this was our session for today, where we talked about what virtual labs are, how they're making a difference in teaching, learning and experimentation. Also, it is also assisting in feedback, assessment, evaluation and coordination as well. There's a lot more to it, and you will get to know once you start exploring the virtual lab. We have showed you how to navigate the web page and what are demonstrations like, how you can perform them. Repeat them as many times as you want. There is no constraint for space, there is no dearth of time, and nobody is going to tell you that you're using the resources. So there are ample resources available. You just have to practice and you have to excel in this subject, because only then you will be able to develop your interest and probably your career as well. Now, it was a wonderful session, and of course we know it is a training session that is going on. So how about assessment? Yes, you can assess yourself what all you have learned. Let's go to the website first of all, and let me tell you the ways through which you can participate. So this is our website. You have to log in to ciet.ncert.gov.in. Go to the activities section and click for the workshop training option. You will land on this page, and here you can see 2 current activities going on, but we are interested in online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 2. Let's click on the same, and here we will find a complete write-up of why we are having this training session, what virtual labs are, and how National Education Policy 2020 is also emphasizing, on digital learning, blended learning, and virtual labs are actually an outcome of the same. Now, who all can participate? Since I mentioned that this time it is specifically for phase 2, but this session is open to all. This training program is open to all. Now, when you scroll down a bit more, you will find the entire program schedule. It's the record of all the training sessions that we have been conducting under this umbrella theme, and all the videos have been uploaded here. You can watch them for your later references also. Now, how to participate? There are certain steps that you need to follow. Step 1 is registration. You have to register yourself. So click on the link or scan this QR code. Secondly, you have to watch all our sessions very attentively, that is streaming live on different platforms of ours. Then step 3, you can participate in the assessment, and if you score more than 70%, you will get yourself a certificate also. So here you will find all the details, when the link will be opened, when it will be closed, and there are certain guidelines also, so please go through them. Last but not the least, you have to submit your feedback. Yes, it is important so that we can improve upon our training sessions and we can include newer content that will suit your, of course, requirements and are more relevant to you. So reach out to us on diksha.training@cit.nic.in or give us a call on 8804405559. I hope you will participate and you will come out with flying colors. You will get yourself a certificate, and we are also waiting for your emails. Well, now it's time for me to thank both my experts for the day. Yes, we had this wonderful session where we talked about virtual lab as a teaching learning tool for mathematics, and for this I would like to thank Dr. Jagmohan Rao and Miss Anna Gupta. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for your contribution to the session. And now it's time for me to make a very important announcement before I close. So yes, this is about the All India Children Competition. So let's have a look on the screen, and what are we going to get? This is the All India Children's Educational E-Content Competition. It is back for the year 2024-25. So we invite teachers, teacher educators, students and independent educational e-content creators to submit their best e-content for the competition. For further details and the registration form, please visit the activities section of our official website www.ciet.ncert.gov.in or scan the QR code on the screen. The final date for submission is, of course, 31st of December 2024. We are looking forward to your participation, and before I leave the studio, now it's time to take a quick look at the schedule. What's all coming ahead? Yes, so it's right there on your screens. We're through with our session on virtual lab as a teaching learning tool for mathematics. In a short while from now, you can watch our session Ullas. Then from 12 p.m. we will bring you a session on teaching learning interventions. The subject is Hindi. 2 p.m. will be time for an English session, followed by a session in Hindi at 2:30. 3 p.m. is a time for a session in sciences, followed by a session in mathematics at 3:30. From 4 to 5 p.m. we will bring you a session in Hindi for online training program, which we are conducting on IoT devices this week. And from 5 to 5:30, there will be a session called Sahyog. So with this, it's a wrap. This is me, Halpreet Kaur, taking leave of you, but please stay tuned for our educational programs on different platforms. Namaskar.